Today, I'm making corn chowder, and I refuse to make any corn jokes. So summer's over, it's now fall, days are getting colder, you need something to warm up. Hey, sweet corn's in full swing. Why not take advantage of that and make some chowder? Because corn chowder is nice and warming. It's good for you and it's delicious. I mean, I stalked down all the ingredients for this recipe. I peeled back the husk on it, and I got an amazing chowder recipe for you. So let's get it done. I made a corn joke. I made two of them. So we're going to start off by getting everything ready to go. Do our knife work, cut up our vegetables. We're going to start off with 2 full ribs of celery, or in my case, 4 pieces of little snack-sized celery, because that's what I usually have on hand. We're going to dice that up fairly small. We're not looking for Michelin star style dicing. I kind of like when it's a little uneven. Kind of gives a little bit of a rustic charm to it, I like to say. And that one long piece stuck to the knife I ate. We're going to bowl that up, put it off to the side. Then we will address our shallot, or shallot if you're classy. Again, same thing. We're going to cut it long and dice it up. Get it nice and nice. And we're going to put it in a bowl and, again, set that off to the side. This is the mise en place I always talk about. We get everything ready, get it ready to go. Red bell pepper. Cut down the ribs, pull the seeds out. You give it a nice sharp tap and the rest of the seeds will come out and come loose. Cut it into strips, and then we're going to dice it. That's it. That's all we have to do for this. Get it all diced. Dice it nice. What do you call a single solitary kernel of corn? A unicorn. Put your pepper into a bowl, put that off to the side. And then we move on to our jalapeno. This was going to add such a nice warmth. And now you got to remove the seeds, and I have a little trick to removing the seeds to kind of help me out. I use a grapefruit spoon because it's got those serrations. Makes it so much easier to get that, I think it's called pith, the white stuff, the ribs, and the seeds. You don't want that stuff in your soup because, I mean, it just doesn't taste as good. You want the flesh. You want that fresh jalapeno flavor with that little bit of heat. That little bit of heat is going to go a long way for flavor. Don't be afraid of the jalapeno. It does not add much heat. It's just a little warmth in your mouth and in your throat. It's really nice. I highly recommend. It's optional, but I highly recommend it. You know, this might sound corny, but you are amazing. Get your jalapeno diced, put it in a bowl, put it off to the side. Now, green onions, which is not just a great song by Booker T and the MGs. We're going to cut the white parts off, and we're going to cut up the white to go into the soup, and the green part we're going to save for garnish later. So again, same thing. Dice it up small, and we're going to put it into a bowl and put it off to the side. You know, some people say popcorn is hard to chew, and there's a kernel of truth to that. Potatoes. I'm going to use 1 pound of what they call boiling potatoes. So think either Yukon Gold or red potatoes. They hold up the best. If you use russet, you can, but they kind of get soggy and fall apart. Red potatoes and Yukon Gold will kind of hold their shape. So we're going to go with about a 1/2-inch dice. I peeled them already, had them sitting in water. And then right before we put them into the pot, we're going to drain that water off. And keeping them in water helps them to not oxidize and turn black, which, you know, you don't want that. It just looks ugly. Now, our ears of corn. We need 2 cups of corn kernels. You can use fresh off the cob just like this, which is the preferred type. You can use frozen. You can even use canned. But you need 2 cups. Do it the best you can find and afford. Like I always say, go with the best you can find and afford. And you just slice down the cob. You'll feel when you're in too deep. It'll be a little tougher. You can kind of angle the knife out. And, slice it off the cobs. Who's the corniest baseball player of all time? Ty Cobb. So now 2 strips of bacon we're going to cut into, when you cut bacon strips like this, they're called lardons. Lardons, not lard ass. That's what my dad always called me, but that's not important right now. So we're going to take 2 strips of bacon. We're going to cut it into, I guess, like 1/4-inch lardons. You know, you want to cut it into 1/4-inch strips. This is going to give a nice smoky, flavor in the background of this. Very important. Don't skip this. And again, use the best quality bacon you can find and afford. We'll get that cut up. Now it's time to start cooking. In our 5-quart stock pot, we're going to throw our bacon in. Don't put any oil in the bottom. We're going to let the bacon render out the fat and use that as our lube to start out. So you want to get it to the crispy part. When it starts to foam, that's what you want. Don't worry about the fond on the bottom. That's going to deglaze with the vegetables. 2 tablespoons of butter. Pop it in. Get it melty. And then we throw in our vegetables. Celery. Red bell pepper. Get it all in there. Don't let the strays stay behind. The green onions. Our shallot. And our delicious jalapeno. Get that in there, give it a mix. What did the cornfield say when it heard the rain coming? That's music to my ears. I like the corn puns. So I'm going to cook that down for a couple of minutes till the vegetables start to get soft and lighten up. Season with some salt. That's going to help draw the moisture out of that vegetation and concentrate those flavors. Mirepoix, that's the name of the game. In Spanish and Italian cooking, they call it sofrito. Down in Cajun country, they call it the Holy Trinity. Now, once our veggies are softened, we're going to add our potatoes. Give them a stir. They're going to start to cook. The potatoes not only give bulk to the soup and make it chunky, but some of that starch will leach out and help thicken, which is what we want. Now, we have our 4 cups of corn. We're only going to put 2 cups into the soup right now. We got a special thing we're going to do with the other 2 cups, so just pop 2 cups in and give it a stir. I'm going to let that start to cook. You don't want to cook it too long like this. You kind of just want to get heat into it. Now, 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. That's going to help us thicken even further. Get it in there. You're going to cook it for about a minute or 2. You want to cook out that raw flour flavor. Be careful what you say in a corn maze. The walls have ears. I like that one. So once you have a mix on it, 1 large, or in my case, 2 small bay leaves, and then 4 cups of chicken broth. Dump that all in. Give it a stir. And then once it's boiling, we're going to reduce the heat to low, and we're going to simmer it for about 15 minutes. So while that's simmering, we're going to address our other 2 cups of corn. So in a food processor or blender, drop in your 2 cups of corn kernels, and then we're going to add 2 cups of whole milk. You can use half and half if you'd like it extra creamy. I didn't have any on hand, so you got 2 cups of milk. And then we're going to process this for a few seconds just to break down some of those kernels, let them, the juices inside leach out, cut the husk down, or it's actually a pericarp or endocarp? Pericarp, I think that's the outside of the corn. So now we add that into the rest of the soup after it's simmered for 15 minutes. You can check for salt level at this point in time, see where you're at. But very important, you want to add pepper. And we're going to do that in just a moment. We're going to give this a stir. Got to get it mixed. Here we go. Again, use as much pepper as you would like. More the merrier. You know I'm a big fan of freshly ground black pepper, so I put a lot of it in almost everything. What happened to the football team that practiced in a cornfield? They got creamed. I like creamed corn. So we got our pepper in there. We're going to give it a nice stir. And then we're going to bring it to a simmer and let it simmer for 30 minutes. Very important. You don't want to get it too hot because you'll scorch the milk. You'll burn the bottom of the pan. That looks really beautiful. Now it's time to plate it up. So in a bowl, we're going to ladle it in. Try not to make too much of a mess of ourselves. I actually didn't do too bad on this one. Thankfully, I had that paper towel. And then with the extra green onion that we had, the top parts, we're going to cut those into a fancy diamond pattern, which is you just cut it at a sharp angle. And that's what we're going to garnish it with. There we go. Look at that. That is beautiful, and it's even more delicious than it is beautiful. Ooh, look how thick. Thick and chunky. Look at that. It's hot. Burning my fingers. Wow. That's good. That's real good. That's mighty good. This chowder is all about layers of flavor, and with each of these ingredients it brings another layer. But the ones that really stand out is that smokiness from the bacon, the heat from the jalapeno, which isn't a punch in the face of heat, it's just a little bit of warmth in your chest, and the sweetness of the corn really balances that out. This is the perfect recipe for a fall or winter day. Get you nice and toasty. So check this out. If you really like this, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. If you want to see me make something, I take suggestions. This is a community. You help me out by suggesting something and I make it. I may screw it up, but I'll make it. If you think I suck, drop that down in the comments. That's cool too. I really, really appreciate you watching. And my final word on this is, when you're eating corn, it's never goodbye. It's always see you later. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.